Some players look amazing in training, but completely disappear in matches. Maybe that's you. In training, your touch feels clean, your decisions feel fast, you feel confident, you actually enjoy playing. Then the match starts and suddenly everything changes. Simple passes become difficult. You hesitate before doing things you normally do easily. You stop asking for the ball. You panic under pressure. And the worst part is, you know you're better than this. You walk off the pitch frustrated because the version of you in training feels completely different from the version of you in matches. But here's the important thing. This usually has nothing to do with talent. Most players think if I'm good in training, I should automatically be good in matches. But football doesn't work like that. Training and matches are completely different psychological environments. Training feels safe. Matches don't. In training, you expect the ball. Mistakes don't feel serious, pressure is predictable, and your brain stays relaxed. But in real matches, people are watching, teammates are judging, coaches are evaluating, parents are watching from the sideline. Every mistake suddenly feels important. And the moment your brain feels pressure, it changes the way you play. This is where most players get confused. They think, I lost confidence. But confidence usually disappears because your brain switches into survival mode. Instead of focusing on influencing the game, you start focusing on avoiding mistakes. That small mental shift changes everything. Your movement changes, your scanning changes. Your first touches change. Your decision-making slows down. You stop playing naturally. And once that happens, you start looking worse and worse as the match goes on. Think about your last bad game. After your first mistake, did you stop asking for the ball as much? Most players do. That's the exact moment performance starts collapsing, because the problem isn't usually the first mistake. The real problem is the fear of making another one. Good players don't suddenly become untalented in matches. They become mentally defensive. Instead of thinking, how can I affect this game? They start thinking, don't mess up. And careful football usually looks terrible. That's why some players look unbelievable in warm-ups, then disappear the second real pressure arrives. But there's another hidden reason this happens that almost nobody talks about. Most players are mentally overloaded during matches, and they mistake that overload for low confidence. Let me explain. When elite players receive the ball, they already know where pressure is coming from, where teammates are, where space is, and what they'll probably do next. Why? Because they constantly scan before receiving the ball. Average players don't do this enough. So when the ball arrives, their brain starts trying to solve everything at the same time. Where's the defender? Where's my teammate? Should I turn, pass, dribble, protect the ball? Now your brain is overloaded, and overloaded players panic. That's why the game feels too fast for some players. Not because football is actually too fast, but because they're processing information too late. The later you process information, the more pressure you feel. That pressure creates hesitation. Hesitation destroys confidence, and suddenly, a good player starts looking average. This is also why training performance often doesn't transfer into matches. A lot of players train technique without training pressure. They practice skills with no unpredictability, no chaos, no pressure, no consequences. You can dribble cones perfectly, but cones don't make you nervous. Real opponents do. That's why some players who look average in training suddenly dominate matches. They trained decision-making under pressure, not just technique. Because football is not just execution, it's execution under stress. That's the real game. And here's the good news. This problem is fixable. First, stop treating confidence like motivation. Confidence comes from familiarity. The brain becomes calmer when situations feel familiar. So if you want to feel calm in matches, you need more exposure to realistic pressure. Play more small-sided games. Train with limited touches. Train while fatigued. Train under pressure. Train with consequences. Make your training uncomfortable, because comfort doesn't prepare you for matches. Second, after mistakes, force yourself to stay involved. This is huge. Most players disappear after one bad moment. They stop moving, stop communicating, stop asking for the ball, and every second they hide, confidence gets worse. The best players don't avoid the game after mistakes. They demand the ball again immediately. That's what real confidence actually looks like. Not perfection, response. And finally, simplify your game early in matches. A lot of players try too hard to impress immediately. They force difficult passes, force dribbles, force highlight moments. Bad idea. Get simple touches first. Build rhythm. Feel involved. Confidence grows through successful involvement, not through trying to prove yourself instantly. And if you've ever felt like, I know I'm better than how I play in matches, you're not crazy, you're not untalented, you're just experiencing what happens when pressure changes the way your brain processes the game. But once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself emotionally, and you finally start fixing the real problem. Because the goal isn't to become a different player during matches, it's to become the same player everywhere.